Welcome, welcome. Right now, I want to get started with Gail Dixon is going to do our prayer this morning.
Okay.
Gail, bring it on.
Holy One, we are always in your sight. As we come together today, help us to show the gifts you have given us in inspiration, understanding, and most importantly, the gift you have given us to serve our fellow entrepreneurs, business people, and the wider world. Make our words true, our spirits faithful, and our understanding complete. Ever in your sight, always in your service. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. That was beautiful,
Amen.
Gail. Thank you so very much. Thank
Oh.
you. Love for everyone to take the time right now inside the chat and let's just put where we're from. Where are we at today? I know I'm in Texas. I know Dr. Pat's in Georgia, but where's everyone at? It's always good to know who's in the world is with us. While you're doing that, I want to introduce a great woman, Dr. Patricia Rogers. Unity and Service Inc. Mission is to create powerful platforms where entrepreneurs can shine, sharing their message, market their services, and build credibility through public speaking opportunities, podcast interviews, and collaborative book projects. With over a decade of experience, Unity and Service Inc. has cultivated a thriving community through dynamic virtual and in-person speaker conferences, engaging workshops, and professional public speaking training. Unity and Service is committed to help entrepreneurs elevate their visibility and establish lasting authority in their industry. Dr. Patricia Rogers, CEO and founder of Unity and Service Inc., is a visibility strategist, three-time international best-selling author, two-time winning public speaker, business coach, podcast host, and event organizer. She is a 12-year U.S. Army veteran, a retired corrections lieutenant with 29 years of service, and a graduate of St. Thomas University. I introduce you to Dr. Patricia Rogers, CEO of Unity and Service, where people need people. Come on down, Dr. Patricia. Are you ready, Dr. Pat?
Yes, I'm ready. I am
All
ready.
right.
I'm ready. I'm ready. You know, technology, you got to make sure everything's in top shape. So I had my monitor on. And I was just saying, yeah, I didn't know I was going to be this first.
Absolutely. Bring it on.
You know, y'all usually put me last. I guess I'm not the best no more.
Oh, you're the best. You're number one. You're number one today.
Could you give Iffy her banner, please?
She can use any banner she wants. She's a guest.
Okay, because she asked me about it. Thank you, sweetheart. Yeah. Thank you for coming, darling. Oh, okay, so what I'm going to talk to you all about today is I'm going to share. Y'all know I am a visibility strategist. Thank you so much for reading that amazing introduction. And I'm going to talk to you all today about the number one mistake that entrepreneurs make, and that is staying silent about your brilliance or just being invisible. Public speaking is how you turn your experience into authority and your message into impact. And of course, your visibility into opportunity. And I want to start with this truth that just might challenge how you have been thinking about your business. Is that okay? Y'all wave your hand. Wave your hand. The truth is that visibility, ladies and gentlemen, is not a luxury. It's not a luxury. But visibility is a necessity. And yet, too many entrepreneurs treat it as if it is a choice. They treat it like something they will get to when and if they have time, or as an extra rather than as an essential. Let me tell you something. You could be the most talented person in the room, You can have the best product, the best service, and even the best heart, and still be overlooked. Why? Not because you're not good enough, but because you're not seen enough. And in today's world, if people do not see you, they cannot invest in you or the services that you provide. We're living in a time where attention, ladies and gentlemen, is currency. It's money. And if you're not intentionally positioning yourself, someone else will. And that's a fact. Visibility is not about vanity. It's not self-serving, but visibility is about connections and making sure your voice reaches the people who need what you have to offer. And there is someone somewhere right now, praying for the solution that you already have, but they cannot find you if you're hiding. Another truth is that visibility can feel uncomfortable. It can feel like pressure. It can feel like judgment. And we all have had that nagging thought in our minds when we're getting ready to do something. Well, what if I show up and nobody responds? I have those thoughts too. But we get rid of those thoughts when we do the work. Visibility is not about perfection. It's about making connections. And people are not looking for perfection. They're looking for realness. They're looking for someone who understands them, someone who has walked through something, and someone who can guide them forward. And ladies and gentlemen, that someone is you. We cannot lead by hiding. Leaders are seen, they show up with clarity, and most importantly, they are remembered. Good leaders speak with purpose, and they position themselves where opportunities can find them. At Unity in Service, we believe in one powerful principle, and that is that people need people. And your visibility is not about you. It's about the people who are assigned to your voice, the people who need your message, and the people who will grow because you decided to show up. And when you're invisible, you delay someone else's breakthrough. I'm going to say that again. When you are invisible, you delay someone else's breakthrough. Visibility without intention is negative motion, moving fast. And that's what everybody's moving so fast. We don't have time to read the email. We don't have time to read the whole text. We don't have time to check the emails. We don't have time to send out follow-ups. We don't have time to do any of that we really need to be doing because we're moving fast and going nowhere. Visibility must be consistent. It has to be clear and it has to connect because visibility alone does not build a business. Connections builds our businesses. You do not need to be everywhere. I want to say that we don't have to be everywhere all the time, but wherever we are, we must be intentional. One connection at a time. Ask yourself these questions. What would happen if you really, truly committed to being seen? What doors would open? What connections will be made? What level of impact would you step into? Visibility creates opportunity. I love that when I say that. Visibility creates opportunity. And opportunity creates wealth. Ladies and gentlemen, we all should be investing in as many speaking opportunities as possible because you have a message that needs to be heard. You can reach more people at once and enhance your brand awareness. You also have something valuable to offer. But none of these things matter if nobody knows that you exist. Ladies and gentlemen, you must be so visible that your audience cannot imagine their journey without you. I cannot express it enough. Visibility is not a luxury. It is a necessity for all entrepreneurs who want to be known and earn the wealth that you deserve. That's my story, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to stick to that one. And in my closing, Unity in Service provides speaking platforms to help you make the right connections. We provide all speakers with an email list of attendees 24 to 72 hours after the event. But guess what? You have to handle the follow-ups. I invite you to join us at our upcoming event on May 29th and be a part of our powerful visibility experience. See how Unity in Service serves you, our entrepreneur. And to invest in upcoming events, as a speaker, you can schedule with me. All of my information, ladies and gentlemen, will be in the chat. That's my story. I'm Dr. Patricia Rogers, visibility strategist, and I am the CEO of Unity in Service, where people need people. And if you have any questions, I'm happy to accommodate you.
Oh, that was awesome, Dr. Pat. We do have questions, I'm sure of it. We're going to open the floor up. Please let me know who has a question or comment for Dr. Pat. Dr. Pat, I know that visibility is key on any business. You have to be seen. You have to be heard. I'm so glad that you did that presentation today. Dr. LaWanna, do you have any questions or comments for Dr. Pat?
Well, Dr. Rogers is the queen of visibility strategies. And I, for one, would love to know how she handles it when it comes to Facebook, because I seem here lately seem to be getting in trouble with them. And I haven't figured out what I do wrong. So is there a way to be active on Facebook without getting yourself into the jail? Because I've been there twice already and I don't like it.
Wow. I know I have that. I talked about being a Facebook jail in my book, In-Person and Virtual Events That Rock. And I gave that book out. You missed it, but I gave that book out as a PDF copy in our last event. And I would love to share that book with you because I know you love to read, because the book has so many other things in it as well. But I used to be in Facebook jail a lot myself. And one thing they don't like is for us to move fast. Let's say if I'm in the messenger and I'm talking to, I want to send something out in the messenger, using the messenger, because there's so many ways for us to send information. And this is why we have to learn the features of all these systems that we use, because the work is done for us, but we do have to play with it, go to jail and do all that other stuff before we can figure it all out. And in the Facebook, sometimes when I'm everybody shows up there, the whole world. And when I used to just do it real fast, I got in trouble. So I had to learn to do a little bit at a time, and that's it. Another thing Facebook does not like for us to do is keep putting those emojis back to back to back to back. They call that spamming. So sometimes people just do that. Keep putting the not emojis. Let me take that back. The picture. Let's say I'm posting a picture, and I'm talking to people that have responded to me, and I post that same little picture all the time, the same little comment. Anything that's repetitive, in my own opinion, it will put me in jail. So we have to move with grace. And then I always, when they kick me out, I just go over there to LinkedIn. I go to Instagram, so many platforms. And then there have been times I had to file a complaint. They filed the music that we use. I can use TikTok video. It has the music on it for TikTok. But when I post that in Facebook, they get jealous. They want me to use their music. So I'll get this notification that I'm in violation of whatever, infringement, whatever. But there are buttons that I can push to say, okay, and that's another story. But, and then I had to file a complaint, a grievance, if you will. Just this past week, they accused me of doing something with the music. And I wrote them back. I think I told them something about, well, just delete the video. Something I said. It wasn't intentional, just delete the video. So it's several things that can get you in jail. And I used to go to jail all the time, and I got tired of paying bonds. So I try to stay out.
When you're active on these platforms, things are going to happen. I'm in trouble all the time, it seems like, and I'll go, got to back off a little bit now. Have to go a little slower. go play on LinkedIn a little bit more for a while. So, Gail, do you have any questions or comments for Dr. Pat?
Actually, she has already answered my comment, which was kind of a response to LaWanna, which is, number one, remember what platform you're on. You know, like you said, there you can do some things on TikTok that you can't do on Facebook. There are some things that are part of the culture of LinkedIn that feel too formal for Facebook. So the fact that Dr. Patricia has led the way in showing us how to do it on each one of these platforms is such a big help because, you know, I mean, I promise, I still have not ventured into the TikTok realm, but I might have to poke my toe there soon. But thank you for being the example of how to repurpose the approach or the content or the visibility for one same thing and adapt it to the platforms. And that flexibility and adaptability, you have been such a teacher and such an example. And the fact that you continue to learn means we all continue to learn. So thank you.
Thank you. And another thing I want to say, this last thing, is that Dr. LaWanna, to everybody, sometimes you can post, use that scheduled posting to go out as far as you like, because that helps too. And you don't have to come, all you have to do then is just come back and engage. Let me see if anybody said anything to me. But scheduling is a bonus. So when y'all think y'all seeing me on Facebook, sometimes you're not seeing me on Facebook. I schedule my posts, but I always go back and engage because somebody just may be asking me about my event. Somebody, and AI has us spoiled, and I have to make sure that, but some things I'm just going to do on my own, because when it comes to building connections, they got to talk to me. They got to see me. They got to hear me. And I know we've been engaging with LaDonna's event. You got to go back and engage when you post, because you don't know who's talking to you, and you don't know if you're working a product or service. And even if they're just complimenting you, I say thank you, because that's how we build relationships. Because that person liked my comment, and I do it to other people all the time. I don't know them, but I say, and they'll come to me thinking I want to buy something from them. I'm like, no, I was just complimenting you. But I also knew that will open a door of communication, because they're talking to me. And that's where I want them at right now. I'll take it from here. Lot of stress.
All right. Anyone else have any questions or comments for Dr. Pat? Okay. So what I would like to do at this time, we have a couple of guests in the room, and I would like to call on them to give us your 30-second intro. And I want to start with Iffy. Iffy, give us your 30-second introduction.
Hi, everyone. I am Immaculata, a virtual assistant. I work in Unity Service, and I love organizing. I help business owners stay on track by managing their tasks, including email and social media. Please, if you need any of my services, reach out to my mentor, Dr. Patricia Rogers. Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Thank you. That was beautiful. Thank you so much. Thank you. Angela, come on down. Give us your 30-second intro.
Awesome. So good morning, everyone. My name is Mistress Angela. I am a relationship and intimacy expert. I help people with the relationships personally and in a professional realm. I can be reached by social media, the Wifey Life Encounter Consultant. It's so good to be with you guys today.
Awesome. Thank you, Angela. And if you've never talked to Angela, you want to get with her. She is an expert in relationship building. That is for sure. Shanna, are you available?
Yes.
Okay. Do you want to give us your 30-second intro?
Well, my name is Shauna. I'm a guest of John O'Neill, and I'm just here to, I guess, participate in the event. So thank you for having me.
Thank you. Thank you for being here. Hello, everyone. Hello.
Hello, guys. We are learning here this morning. But it's kind of fun.
Still waiting on a few more to come back.
I mean, that's what life's all about, right? Learning something new.
Absolutely. And it's great when you're among friends who hopefully are not judging.
Right? And even if they are, that's their problem.
Oh, that's perfect, Trina. I love it. And you know what? Every time I think, oh, I know this, I've got it, I've got it all figured out. Guess what? They change it.
Yes. Life will keep us humble.
So what did we learn in the breakout rooms? I would love to hear a couple of you tell me, what did you learn, or what was that moment? Anyone?
I just got to meet Shanna and Gail, and both ladies, like, kind of their hearts and what they're interested in. And Shanna's really doing content creation and passionate about that, and wanting to pivot into that and helping other businesses with that, which I think is really awesome. And Gail really has this focus on kind of the heart's voice and a movement around that. So it was really great to hear about that from both ladies
Awesome.
and learn about that.
Awesome. Dr. Pat, what did you learn in your room? Or what did you hear about?
Actually, I knew everybody, so we all knew each other. Basically, me and Angela and Iffy, of course. And then so I was able to hear about more about what Jon does in the financial arena. And I think that's a very, very area that is always welcome on any speaking platform, because people need to know that they got to get ready, got to be ready. You got to know how to manage that money and put it where it needs to be. That was awesome. And the door of opportunity opened up for me to, he questioned me about some of the events that I host and whatnot. And I was able to offer him, and on your behalf, I'm offering everybody on the platform a complimentary ticket. So I told Iffy to go over there and open up about 5 tickets, because this event is paid. We normally have, even the last 3 have been free. And of course we get 160, 200 registrants, but they don't all come. So I'm trying to weed them out. I got to go back to paid. So that's where I am. It's only $15. And then on the 15th, it goes up to $27. And we all do deserve to get paid for our hard work we do. 3 free events is enough for me. So with that, we're going to give them a complimentary tickets, you guys. I would love to have y'all join us on May 29th. LaDonna, I know you're going to be out of town. I'm sorry, I'm going to miss you, but it's okay. You'll come back in July. You'll be back on the platform in July.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We were just, Dr. Pat, while you were out, Dr. LaWanna and I were just talking. Unless you put on an event like this, you really don't understand all the work that goes into it, all the little fine details. And it's never perfect, but it's perfect enough.
Perfect enough.
That's the way I see it.
That's right.
All right. So we are going to go to a trivia question. And the first person that lets me know the answer will win a free complimentary book that just came out of mine. My first book that is by myself. I've always been in a book with lots of other people, and this time it's my own personal book. And it's all about business, learning how to do your business just a little bit differently, a little bit better. And it really talks about mindset and the mastery of connecting with others. So here we go. Are we all ready? If you will, just put your answer. Don't yell it out. Just put it into the chat. And then that way we know for sure who answered it correctly first. And here is the first question. In what year did the first iPhone launch? Does anyone know that?
Oh, I don't know.
Gail says 2003. It's a little bit later. Yes, Trina, 2007 is the answer. Thank you.
Wow, awesome. Woo!
Something new today. My children, which are adults, and definitely my grandchildren, which are young adults or teenagers. And of course, we have the 7-year-old. And sometimes I think the 7-year-old is smarter than all of us when it comes to electronics, because that's what they use every day at school now. They don't use books. It's sad. There's no more books. There's just tablets everywhere.
Wow.
But we're always learning. But I can't believe, and they really can't believe, how far cell phones have came. They're just part of our lives. I mean, if my cell phone is not with me, I'm going to tell you, I'm getting better. but it's like my heart skips a beat. It's just because everything's on there, my pictures and all of us that became JPEGs, and all of my materials that I need is on my cell phone. So yes, 2007. I can't believe we lived life all those years without cell phones. So there we go. All right, our next speaker is going to be Dr. LaWanna Parker. LaWanna, go ahead and set your timer, and we are ready for you.
Okay, let's get this clock on the board. Wow, thank you so much for this opportunity to speak this morning with you. And as everyone knows, I speak about journaling quite a bit. I also speak on manifestation and writing because I love writing. Today, because of some things that I have been going through, I'm going to share the importance of journaling. So let me ask you, have you ever had so much going on in your heart and your mind that you didn't even know where to begin? You smile at people, you handle your responsibilities, you show up because it's expected, but inside you're carrying questions, frustration, dreams, fears, and prayers that you don't even say out loud to anyone, not even to yourself. This is where journaling comes in. As most of you know, or some of you anyway know, this year has been rough starting out. I lost my baby son in March. I lost my baby sister last month. And this morning I got the news that my nephew is gone. So the year for me has started out in a negative. But I'm not holding on to that because I'm writing about it. I'm getting those things out of me. Because when you hold stuff in like that, all it does is create things that cause health issues, stress, heart, any diabetes, any number of things that can happen to you just from holding stuff in. And it's not always easy to talk to people. When I put the notice out about my son, everyone was so supportive. In fact, I believe that's one of the reasons I went to a Facebook jail. I was trying to respond to everybody. So when I lost my sister, I thought, I can't put this back out there. They just went through this with me. I can't do this to them again. And so I didn't really share. I mentioned it in one of my comments, and maybe I shouldn't because that let me know not everybody is reading my comments because nobody remarked on it. I have been journaling quite a bit the last few weeks, and it's been a great help. Yes, I talk to God. I talk to God out loud quite a bit. But I find that I can talk to Him even better when I write it down in a journal. Because sometimes I will say in that journal what I will not say out loud, even to God. It's as if I feel like somebody is listening. I don't know what it is, but I know that I hold back. And when I put it down in there, I'm sharing every little frustration that I feel, disappointments, hurts, whatever it is, I'll put it there because nobody's going to see it. Once it's there, I can either destroy, flush it down, put it in the trash, whatever I want to do with it. Nobody else is going to see it. And the thing about journaling is that it doesn't judge you. It doesn't tell you, oh, why are you being so foolish? Everybody goes through this. You know, if you just applied yourself a little more, you might be able to do something. It doesn't say any of those things to you. It just accepts. And I usually will, if I'm planning on destroying something, I will hold it for a few days, maybe a week or two, and go back and read it again. Because if I don't get my answer at the time that I'm writing, when I go back, I usually find the answer that I'm looking for. I want to share with you today 5 things that I think you can get from journaling. Because, as I just said, the answer to so many things are within ourselves. God Himself has told us that. Jesus has told us that. We just need to look within. But we're so busy listening to all the outside voices that we don't always hear. So, the 5 things I'm going to speak on today are clarity, emotional release, self-discovery, faith and reflection, and action and growth. When you're journaling something and you put your thoughts down on paper, it helps you to understand. It helps you to see something that maybe you didn't think about when you're thinking, because you got all these other things that are bombarding you. But when you can go back and look at it, what you've written, other things will come to you and help clarify what you really feel, what it is that you want or need. And that's one of the best benefits from journaling, is getting clarity. It took me years of doing all the different things I thought I should be doing before I finally realized that the thing that has always been in my heart is the thing that I really should be doing. Whether I make a dime out of it or not doesn't matter. It's what I want in here. And so I have started doing that. I'm writing my romance stories. I am writing. I've done several of them. I've pulled out things I started years ago and decided I need to finish these. That's what writing did for me. It helped clarify where I wanted to actually go. I shared about my family and the things that have happened to us in the last 3 months. So when writing about that, it helped give me that emotional release that I needed. It gave me a place where I could say things, uh, things that I probably would never say out loud to anyone, not even to the individual's family, because it was something that was connected to me and that individual, and nobody else needs to know. I remember when my dad passed, and my dad left us when we were kids. He married somebody else, helped raise their kids. And when my dad passed, my brother and sister, when they went up, they brought all of that up. And I thought, what for? Why are you hurting the people in the audience for something that he did? And he can no longer be punished for it. Whatever punishment he's going to receive will come from our Heavenly Father. For me, it was a matter of writing it down and saying what I felt. But in the end, as I did that day, my dad wasn't perfect, but he was still my dad. And I always knew that my dad loved me, even though he left. So journaling helped me when he passed, and when both my sons passed, my sisters, my mom. It's always helped to give me the emotional release that I need, because I am one of those people who is not able to share and talk about personal, really deep personal things. Number 3 is self-discovery. When we write consistently, we begin to notice patterns, desires, fears, and truth we may have overlooked. Now, I'm not the best writer in the world. I freely admit that. I'm still learning when it comes to romance writing. I can write the other stuff about self-help stuff, gaining confidence, self-esteem, motivation, those things. But when it comes to the romance stuff, well, that's a little different. And that's where I say thank you to chat, because when I hit a block, I can go and ask a question. And if I don't quite understand what it's telling me, I'll give it what I've written and say, how would you say this? And then it gives me back its answer. And I go back and say, okay, but I wouldn't say it that way if I was that character, or that character is telling me, this is not how I speak. So I make the corrections. But I'm so grateful that we have that, because otherwise, I don't know if I would have attempted the romance or not. But I have stories that I have been holding on for 20 plus years, and I have pulled those things out, and it's wonderful to be working with those. So I found self-discovery through my journaling. The 4th is faith and reflection. It gives us room so that we can pray and we can reflect. We can listen and recognize how God has been with us all along. I know when I was thinking about the situation I got into many long years ago, when I was a very young, naive young woman, I had never thought about the outcome up until a few years ago, when I was thinking about writing on that subject. And as it came to mind, and I'm reflecting on this, and I realized that God came to me and He helped me. He gave me a choice. And I chose, I believe, the right choice, because that story is too long for me to get into, but let's say, had I not made the right choice, you might not know me today. I might not even be here today. Or if I was here today, I'd probably be I might even be walking out there on the street, because of the fact that I had no place to go. So because I made the right decision, I should say, the Lord protected me from a situation that normally would have ended in either my death or being beaten so bad that I would not have been recognizable. And I didn't think about that until years later, and I thought about, what if I had went the other way? I still might have been beaten, but I didn't. And He protected me. And so I am here today to talk about how journaling can help you. And the last thing is action and growth. I do believe I'm growing because of the things that I have been able to put down in my journaling. It's helped me to share more on my blog and my newsletter, because even though no one likes it or even read it, I know what I've written. I know what I've put out there. And someday somebody will find it, and it will be the thing that they need. So I want to invite you all to think about this. We talked about clarity. We talked about emotional release, self-discovery, faith and reflection, and action and growth. So I want you to start thinking about Starting simple if you haven't started. And don't worry about being perfect, as we said earlier. Just do it, okay? Don't worry about pretty handwriting or pretty words. Just begin with one question. What do I need to admit to myself today? Take 5 minutes and then read back what you wrote. And then ask yourself, what is one small step I can take from here? That one page may be the beginning of your next chapter in life. Whether you're journaling for clarity, manifestation, or trying to come up with a new vision or writing the story that you will always be afraid to tell, the message is the same. We are not finished. There is still wisdom in us. We still have purpose. And we are still dreaming. And that dream is waiting on your agreement, your courage, and your action. So name that dream, write that vision, and take the step. Your next chapter is not behind you, it's waiting for you to begin.
Awesome. Awesome.
That's awesome job, Dr. LaWanna. Awesome. Who has questions or comments for Dr. LaWanna? Anyone?
Yeah, I'd like to comment a little bit. Just that was beautiful. That was a beautiful, beautiful, heartfelt message. And I love what you're doing with journaling. I know when you first started, I remember, oh my God, you used to tell everybody how many you journal. I guess in thousands. But at any of our blogs you was written and all of that good stuff. So I definitely see your growth and I certainly feel your passion. And when you was talking about the part about putting it, journaling how you feel, the things that you're going through, or how you can say, you can put it on paper and you don't, if you can't tell anybody, you still can put it on paper. And what I like about that is that I agree because the main thing for me is to get it out of me. Yes, you journal. I guess I'm more into affirmations, but whatever it is, I create sometimes affirmations from my challenges. But I feel the best thing is to address it. It is what it is. I can't change it. I can't fix it, but I certainly can get through it because God said he may not take the pain away, but he'll take me through the process as I go through the pain, if that makes sense. But that's just my story I'm sticking to.
Awesome. Awesome. And you said a key word there is you get it out. You have to get it out there in front of you. I love that. Gail, do you have anything to say, to comment, or any questions for Dr. LaWanna?
Well, first, I want to say I'm grateful for the choice you made because I'm glad that you are here for me to know you and for us to know you. And secondly, I love that you have given us all of the reasons to journal, that sometimes we are just seeking release and discharge, but sometimes we're exploring and trying things out and the safety of trying them out there. And I find myself sometimes shying away from journaling because I had an experience where I had a journal get read and led to a really painful situation. And so it's like, am I making myself more vulnerable by putting it on paper than just holding it inside? So the idea that, well, but maybe putting it on paper will help me get the clarity so then I don't need to keep carrying it. And the possibility, the permission you gave to me to say, you can journal and then you can throw it away. You don't have to keep the journal someplace where once it served its purpose for you, then it makes you vulnerable. So thank you for that reminder that a journal can be a piece of paper that I save for a lifetime or that I just use for a minute and then discard when it's served its purpose. So thanks for that reminder.
You're welcome. And I'm going to put in the link, a link to where you can find my stories. They're interracial stories. So if you like interracial couples, go over there. Try at least one.
Awesome. Gail, you said something really important that I got out of your well, a lot of things in your conversation, but one really stuck out is that you can throw it away. You know, as a child, my dad was a very ugly person. And I finally went through a therapist when I was older. And the first thing she said is write a letter. Write a letter and then just throw it away. You don't have to keep it. You don't have to give it to him, nothing. And that's exactly what I did. And boy, it made me feel better. Just getting it all out. Like Dr. Pat said before, getting it out in front of you. You know, it's like I got to vent. And no one was there. That paper did not talk back or try to talk me out of what I think or say. It just listened is the way I felt about it. So good point. Anyone else have a question or comment for Dr. LaWanna? Trina.
I just wanted to say thank you so much for sharing with us and for being so real with us, Dr. LaWanna. That doesn't always happen. Like, people don't really share their heart. Some people can come in guarded and sticking only to tips and tricks and things like that. And you really shared not only the benefit of how this has helped you, even with your creative writing, but how it's helped you personally to process. And as someone who's walked through grief multiple times myself as well, boy, that journaling makes a difference. And so thank you so much for sharing that message with people and showing them how easy it is to express those things that they may not just be able to say, even in their talks with God. And I thought that was so awesome that you said that out loud, because I don't think a lot of people would be willing to do that. So thank you so much.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay. With that said, we're going to do another question, a trivia question. Is everyone ready?
Okay.
What has to be broken before you can use it? What has to be broken before you can use it?
You want us to write it in the chat?
Yes, write it in the chat. Sorry. And the first one in the chat then wins a book, complimentary book. Jon, that's a really great answer, but it's not the correct answer. What has to be broken before you can use it?
That's a good question.
Yes. Iffy, good job. Iffy got it. It is an egg. Yes. Yes.
I knew it was something so simple that
These trivia questions,
Oh
they
my
stump
God.
me. When I do these, the answers stump me every time. Iffy, great job. Thank you. So you will receive a copy of the book.
That was great.
Yes. All right. With that said, our next speaker is Trina Fisher. Trina, are you ready? Come on down.
I am. And would I be allowed to share my screen? Is that something I can do?
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Yes.
Okay, great. Before I do that, I just want to take a moment and say hello to everybody. Thank you so much for being here. And as Dr. LaDonna mentioned, I am Trina Fisher, and I am one of the co-founders of Left Right Labs. And I have a couple things that I want to share with you guys today about building your brand and how to think of your brand, and that one big step that everybody forgets about. Can everybody see my screen here?
Yes, Trina, give me just a minute and let me introduce you. I'm sorry.
I'm so sorry.
No, I missed that. Let me do that really quick.
Yes, ma'am.
I want people to know who you are and what you're about. Trina Fisher is the co-founder, rebrand strategist, and creative director of Left Right Labs, an award-winning brand strategy and creative agency for leaders who know exactly who they are and aren't afraid to show it. With 20 years of experience and over 100 brands launched, Trina has built a reputation for doing what most branding agencies won't: telling the truth. She doesn't chase trends and she doesn't do safe. She architects brands with soul, the kind that make people feel something before they've read a word. Her brand elevation and brand advantage framework helps established entrepreneurs and thought leaders align their positioning, presence, and profit so their brand finally matches their authority. It's the same methodology behind brand transformations for JJ Virgin, Lala Ali, W Corp, Pinnacle Global Network, Michael Prince Jackson's Hill Los Angeles Foundation, and the New York Ad Council. Trina's secret weapon? A rare blend of psychology, creativity, strategy, and the kind of candor most people save for their group chat. She doesn't just design what a brand looks like. She uncovers what it feels like, and then she makes sure every message, every visual, and every touch point reflects the leader behind it. Thank you, Trina.
Thank you so much, Dr. LaDonna. And I'm excited to be here today. I was chatting a little bit ago with Gail in one of the breakout rooms. And one of the questions that came up is, what is something that gets in the way of most people taking the next step to make a shift in their brand? And after 20 years of doing this and working with clients at all different levels, I really think the biggest thing that gets in people's way is the permission to be ourselves. And it doesn't matter how big the name is. It doesn't matter if you're Layla Ali. It doesn't matter if you're Trina Fisher and no one knows your name. It doesn't matter if you're just starting out. The thing that gets in the way of most brands is that permission to just fully be ourselves and to step in front of each other. And that's what really makes the emotional connection. So I want to share with you some business tricks we can use, right, to break that down. But I think it all ties back to that big idea of giving ourselves that permission to be ourselves. And that is what makes all the difference. So, I'm really focused on helping people build the brand they're meant to lead. Because as you start out, especially if you're a business, let's say you've been around 8, 10, 20, some of my clients have had their companies 30 plus years, you're going to go through evolutions as you go. And that's not something that you should resist. It's really something you should enjoy and you should embrace it, because that means that you're growing and hopefully your audience is growing with you. And so for me, I think it's really important to think about that. What I believe is that as thought leaders, as visionaries, that you all have this incredible platform. You really have this opportunity to impact people for good. And it's done through you as a person, as an individual. And what I've seen over the years is there's really kind of 3 key ways that we can help dial this in for people. And elevating your brand really boils down to getting clear, getting noticed, and getting paid. So you might want to have your little screenshot fingers ready, because I'm going to show you a couple charts here that will help you think through this. But first of all, I want to say that elevating your brand, it doesn't happen on accident. This is something that is really intentional, that as you go through the years, as you're making shifts, that you're really putting information in front of people in a way that shows all of who you are and says, love me or leave me, because that means the people that you're meant to connect with are going to be the ones that stick around. And so when we think of kind of the 3 key steps that build the strongest brands, it really starts by getting clear. And this is clarifying, what is that distinct position that you own that's letting you build that strong foundation? Sometimes it's getting your offers dialed in. It's having the right products. It's having the right pricing so that you're putting it in front of the right people. And this is one of the pieces that a lot of times we do once and then we forget to come back to. Where most of us want to play is in this area of getting noticed. We want to create be instantly recognized. We want to have ways to connect with people. We want to be on stages. This is phenomenal. And getting noticed, the way we think about it, is really tying all those different touch points in your brand together and bringing your brand to life in a way that people can't ignore. And getting paid is this third pillar that we help people with. It's really strategizing with your team. How do you roll out your brand? If you're making changes and you're having a pivot, how do you do that in a way that people can accept, that is really efficient for you, that maximizes your profit? And so I want you to think about this almost like a combination lock. As I mentioned, a lot of people, they want to play over here. They want to get noticed, and that's awesome. But if we stay here and we only want to get noticed, then we're not actually going to get the benefit of what happens when we go back to getting clear. When we get clear, here's how all the steps that happen when you go through getting clear, getting noticed, and getting paid. But when we get clear, when we stay right here, this means that we can dial in our brand personality. We have a signature framework. I'm showing you mine right now. I help people get clear, get noticed, and get paid. When you have something like this, you can have a conversation around. This becomes the chapters in your book. This becomes the steps that you share in your sales conversations. This becomes the things you share from stage. And if any of you are like me, even though there's 3 steps under here, honey, I have at least 3 more steps under each of these sections, right? There's all these different ways that we can break that down. But I think regardless of what stage you are in your business, this is the thing that most people don't come back to and evaluate often enough. Because if you are different today than you were 5 years ago, 10 years ago, that means your brand personality is different. The way that you want to show up, the way that you speak, the way that you share your passion with your audience, all of that is different. That means that you've probably realigned things in your framework of how you want to connect with people, how you want to share what you do. Maybe some of the offers, this is a big one when we talk about permission to change. Maybe some of the offers that you have are things that you're just doing out of habit because you've had it for the last 10, 15 years. I want you right now to give yourself permission. If there are offers that you have in your business, but you inwardly groan anytime somebody wants to take you up on that offer, they want to do that work with you, you need to take it off of your website right now. You need to take it out of your brochures right now. That is not something that you should be spending time on, because you should be waking up every day excited to do the work that you're called to do. You should be building that brand that you're meant to lead right now. And so one of the things that you can do when you're thinking about your signature framework and you're thinking about the offers that you have is making sure that it is something that lights you up first. A lot of branding agencies out there will talk about, okay, think of your ideal client and align your offers to them. And that's helpful. But when you get far enough in and you have a proven product, a proven offer, if you're not delivering on the thing that actually lights you up, your ideal clients are going to feel that. So I really want you to kind of step back and go, okay, is there any area in my business that I'm currently experiencing resistance around? Are there any offers that I have? Is there anything in the way I explain what I do that is tripping me up? Even though I've said it the same way for years, but just somewhere in my gut, I know that it's different. That's where we need to pause and go back and say, okay, this is my time to get clear. Because what happens is when you can wake up and you're in love with what you're doing every day, then it becomes so much easier to go, okay, who is my elevated audience now? Because even the people that you serve, if you've had your business, again, 5, 10, 15, 20 years, even the audience you serve is going to change. And so I want you to think right now about who's that elevated audience, the one that's ready for this version of you, the one that's ready for the next version of you, where you're wanting to go, the offers that you want to do, the deep work that you want to walk them through, maybe the elevated price points that you have. That's the audience that you really need to be considering now. And so when you can come back and say, okay, I'm showing up with my full brand personality, I have my signature framework dialed in, and I know exactly who my elevated audience is, then that means that we're actually walking in congruence with our brand. So when we can come back to this piece here, getting clear, then it's so much easier to get noticed because I know who I am when I've gotten clear. And so now when I'm going back to getting noticed and I'm updating my website or my landing pages or whatever else it may be, my speech that I say from stage, now my voice is magnetic because it's aligned with what I'm really interested in doing. Now I can align the visuals to be something that represent who I am today, and most importantly, who your audience wants to be. It's thinking about them first, really being thoughtful about what they want to see reflected in themselves. And it makes it so much easier for your online presence to align when you know who you are today. And then it makes your money flow even easier. Your brand authority becomes congruent because it's showing up the same in every platform that you're on. It makes your offers even easier to dial in because you're excited to do them. And it really gives you that room to have visionary growth, to say, I know that I'm not getting in my way anymore. I'm not causing any of my own hurdles anymore because I'm fully aligned. And this is what allows us to leave a legacy with our brand and with our business, and to really make that impact that makes a difference in other people's lives. And so I have this really great tool. If you guys are interested in elevating your own brand, if you're really wanting to see what is tripping people up or where are my opportunities, I really want you guys to go to brandadvantage.ai/start. And this is a tool that we have created with our 20 years of award-winning brand strategy that will review your website. It will tell you what's working well. It will tell you where people are maybe getting confused and what blocks may be in the way. Because at the end of the day, I'm here to help you build the brand that you're meant to lead. Thank you so much.
That was awesome. Thank you so much, Trina. If you can stop sharing your screen and make sure that you put that link in the chat with right along with everything else that we need to know about you as far as contacting you.
Yes.
That would be awesome. All right. Who has a question or comment for Trina?
I do have a quick comment. Thanks for the presentation on branding, Trina. I do like the thought that when you have those three elements in alignment, it creates legacy.
Yes.
I think what we strive to do in all of our businesses is make it multi-generational, past ourselves. And that's where the legacy piece comes in. Thanks for sharing that.
Yes, thank you.
Very good, Jon. Thank you. Who else? Who else has a question or comment for Trina?
I'll go in. I like the part too. Also, branding is always a great topic. When you said that we have to feel it, when we have that, whatever it is that we are promoting, that it should bring joy to me first.
Yes.
I wholeheartedly agree with that, because I always say energy sells. And when I'm excited, and I tell some of my clients that I work with, how do you expect other people to be excited and you're not excited?
Right? It makes all the difference in the world.
Do and that's very important. And our coach told me that back in 2017, Bill Walsh. He said, Pat, people will pay you for your energy.
It is the truth.
Yeah. So I can certainly say from my own experience that it does attract people to you. Your excitement about what you're offering.
Yes. And we all know Dr. Pat carries a lot of excitement for what she does.
Yes.
Always in love with what she does. Yes. Who else has a question or comment? Dr. LaWanna?
I just want to recognize the fact that when you say when it's something that you're excited about, you wake up ready to go. Well, that's what I have been doing the last few weeks. First thing out of my head is, where did I leave off on my writing? It used to be check the Facebook, check the text all of those things,
Right.
Post something, and then maybe I'll put something about what I was doing. But now each morning I wake up, I'm trying to remember, okay, what was I supposed to do next in that story? And that's where my excitement is. So yes, it has to be something that you're really thrilled about. And then it doesn't matter what other people may say or think about it, because you are into it. That's your whole heart. That's you.
And then it just makes everything easier from there. It all just flows because you don't have to pretend to be something you're not. You just get to show up and say, this is me, and I'm here for the people who need me.
Awesome, awesome. Anyone else have anything to say? Any questions for Trina? All right. With that said, we are going to do another trivia question, and we will put the answer in the chat when you know the answer. Are we ready? Which letter is not in any U.S. state name? Which letter is not in any U.S. state name? I did not know this one until I looked it up. I'm just going to say this one was a hard one for me. Which letter is not in a U.S. state name? All right, are we all Googling it now?
Just about.
Put it in the chat, the letter Q.
Yes, the letter Q. That is correct. Thank you, Dr.
And yes, I cheated. Yes, I cheated.
Yes.
They were taking too long to come up with an answer. I said, well, let me cheat.
Sorry, Tristan. Dr. Pat beat you to the answer, but Q is the answer.
I think if you look at the chat, my Q came before her Q.
I don't see that. Oh, Gail, thank you. Thank you. Gail
Listen,
is the winner.
I had to do that because it isn't very often that I am quicker than Pat Rogers. So I had to point it out.
Good job.
Good job, and thank you for keeping me on my toes. There was a lot of things going on in the chat at that moment.
Yeah.
Okay, so
thank
who's the winner then, Gail or Dr. Rogers?
Gail.
Gail. Okay.
Yes. Yes. All right. With that said, I am the next speaker up. So Dr. LaWanna will introduce me.
All right, and this is a honor to be able to do this. Oops. I was about to introduce myself. Okay, I will get your introduction instead. All right, so Dr. LaDonna McAbee is a networking expert, business strategist, and coach committed to helping entrepreneurs grow with clarity, confidence, and meaningful connection. She's widely known as the networking queen. She teaches business owners how to transform conversation into clients and relationships into revenue. With decades of experience in entrepreneurship, leadership, and community building, LaDonna specializes in increasing visibility, strengthening authentic connections, and creating strategic growth without overwhelming. Through coaching, speaking, and done for you services, she simplifies the back end of business so her clients can focus on the work they love. A four-time international best-selling author, host of the Unstoppable Conversation podcast, and founder of Networking Expert, LaDonna is passionate about helping others rise into their next level. Her mission is simple: to help you build a net-worthy network, show up with purpose, and create unstoppable success in both life and business. Please welcome Dr. LaDonna McAbee.
You know, it's always good to hear things about yourself. Sometimes we just don't give ourselves enough credit, but when you hear it, it just changes your mindset right away. I know for me, it's the best medicine. So always the introduction is great when someone else is doing it. So today I'm going to bring you Stop Networking, Start Converting. Yes, networking is awesome. We have to do it, but we also have to take that network and convert it. The real way to turn conversations into cash. So let's look at this. Let me ask you a real question. How many of you have met great people, but nothing ever came from it? I'm guilty. It's happened. I'm sure we've all been there. That's not a networking problem. That's a conversion problem. I'm Dr. LaDonna McAbee, and I've spent decades helping people understand one thing. Your network only works when you know how to work it. Today, I'm going to show you how to stop collecting contacts and start creating clients. There's a hard truth. Most people are doing this wrong. You're going to events, you're posting online, you're meeting people, but your conversations are not turning into opportunities. Why? Because you're talking, but not positioning. Let me repeat that. You're talking, but you're not positioning. You're connecting, but not leading. You're following up, but not creating direction. Let me say this clearly. Being busy networking does not mean you're going to grow your business. Why networking isn't working? Here's what I see happening every day. Mistake number one, no intention. You walk into a conversation hoping something happens instead of leading it. Number two, no clear message. People leave the conversation not knowing what you actually do. Mistake number three, no strategy after meeting. You say, let's connect, and then nothing happens. You don't connect. You don't follow through. Hope is not a business strategy. Take that out of your mindset. Hope is not a business strategy. I'm going to give you 3 connection shifts. I want to give you something real you can use immediately. I want you to make the shift. Shift 1. Stop asking, what do you do? Start asking, what are you building right now? We're all guilty. That's how we were taught back in the day. What do you do? No, it's what are you building right now? Now you're not networking. You're opening opportunities for conversation. Shift number 2. Every time you speak, are you either forgettable or valuable? You need to answer this clearly. Why you? Why do they need you? For example, I help people turn connections into real opportunities and income through intentional networking. That is simple, clear, and powerful. They know what Dr. LaDonna does. This is what I'm working on right now. Shift number 3. Most people say, let's stay in touch. But highly level people say, let's schedule a time to continue this conversation. And go ahead and get them booked on your calendar right away. Don't say, well, later when you have time, go ahead and go to my calendar and book an appointment. No, go ahead and do it now. I had a coach last year or so tell me, before you end this conversation, you go ahead and get them booked for their next conversation with you. Don't leave the conversation without the next booking. See the difference? One is passive, one creates results. Everyone needs to have a reason to talk to you again. So I want to give you something simple that you can actually do. And again, you can start this right away. That's what this whole thing is about today, is when you leave here, you can start utilizing all of these golden nuggets we're throwing out at you. So I have a 3x3x3 method that I use. And I love this method. It keeps me on track and it can keep you on track as well. Have 3 intentional conversations every week. This is at least. I do it every day, but at least every week, have 3 intentional conversations. Do 3 meaningful follow-ups and create 3 opportunities. Now, that may sound easy, but it's not as easy as you think if you're just getting started. What are you going to talk about? How are you going to start the conversation? If I follow up, am I going to feel too salesy? We always worry about that. You don't want to be too salesy, but just take it one step at a time. 3 intentional conversations, 3 meaningful follow-ups, and create 3 opportunities. That's it. No overwhelm, no confusion, just consistent, intentional action that builds momentum. I want to leave you with this. Your next client is not hiding from you. They're sitting in a conversation you haven't had yet. You don't need more followers. You don't need more posts. You need better connections and better conversations. You're not one post away. You're one conversation away. If you're ready to take this to the next level, come and connect with me. I want to talk to you about strategy, talk to you about growth, and let's talk about results. I invite each and every one of you to go to my website, LaDonnaMcAbee.com, and go to guides. And when you go and click on guides, you're going to find all kinds of guides there. And several of them are free that you can just pick and choose, download automatically, and you're there. There's some there that's like $7. They're worth it. They're worth every dime you spend because you're going to grow with each one of these guides. And most of all, stop networking randomly and start connecting intentionally. Pick out those people that you know fits. You know that they need you. They need Dr. LaWanna to help them with journaling. They need Dr. Pat to help them with their next event. Who needs you? You got them. They're in your pipeline. You just have to pull them out and start utilizing them. I would like to invite each and every one of you to go to www.bookladonna.com and book an appointment with me right away. Even if you've talked to me in the last 6 months, please go ahead and book an appointment. I don't know what you're doing today. I don't know what you're intending to do tomorrow, but I need to know because I may need you. Or even better, I may know someone that needs you. That's even more importantly because I know a lot of people because I am a connector. I am a networker. I am a collaborator. If I can collaborate with someone, I want to be there. With that said, thank you everyone for being here today. I hope you've gotten lots of golden nuggets, and I would love to open the floor up now for any questions you may have or comments. Trina.
I just wanted to say I really loved how simple you broke it down with your 3x3 of the 3 intentional conversations, 3 meaningful follow-ups, and creating 3 opportunities. With the creating 3 opportunities, can you maybe share some examples of what those might be?
Yes. For example, maybe you want to invite them to your next event, or maybe it's an event that you're getting ready to go to. So I know Dr. Pat has already invited everyone to her next event at the end of May. So Trina, you may want to invite someone to go there with you, like Jon did. Jon invited Shanna to come today and spend the day with him. Maybe you're going to a class. Maybe you're giving a class. Anything to get people excited to hang out with you, and they can learn while they're doing it. Did that help?
Great. Yes, that's great. Thank you.
All right. Anyone else?
Yes, I missed the third one when you said, let's stay in touch. And then you said, no, you gave another example. I missed what that example. I was trying to write all that stuff down.
Let me go back up here because I'm not sure where you're at. No intention.
You're right. After the third one.
Okay, so it's no intention, no clear message, and no strategy afterwards.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. Not that one. The next one. The next set of threes. You said instead of saying, let's stay in touch, you gave an example of what you should say, and I missed it.
Okay, so most people say, let's stay in touch. High level people say, let's schedule a time to continue this conversation.
Okay. Got it. Thank you.
Oh, I'm glad I could help you. Yes, awesome. Any other questions or comments? Gail, you have anything?
Yeah.
I do. I loved the thing that just is so energizing and also an admonition, which is don't stay one conversation away from what you want. And that's so true. For me, sometimes I think a conversation will lead somewhere and it doesn't. But sometimes I don't have a conversation that could have led somewhere. So the impetus to say, have the conversation anyway, even if you don't know where it will lead. And, don't stay one conversation away. It's like, just because somebody tells you no, maybe the next conversation is, well, maybe it's no for now, but what could the next conversation be? And so I love that, it doesn't feel so overwhelming and the goal doesn't feel so far away if I say it could be just one conversation away.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Gail. Shanna, come on down.
So thanks for sharing this. What does being a networking queen mean, and how did you get that title?
I meet a lot of people, and I make sure I'm meeting them consistently every day. No matter what I'm doing, I'm talking to someone, I'm posting, I'm getting back with someone. And so my clients started calling me the networking queen because they see me everywhere on every social media platform. They see me live, they see me posting, and I'm always getting back with everyone. For example, when I went to Dr. Pat's last event, there was a lot of people there. But within 24 to 48 hours, I was reaching out to everyone that attended the event that I haven't already talked to in like the last 30 to 45 days. I wanted to find out what they do, how I can help them, where are they at, what are they doing? It's building relationships.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Dr. Pat, you had something to say?
I did have something to say. Oh, I think I know what I was going to say. You said something about when people invite people to go with them, so that you said something on that line about inviting people to go with them so that they can learn.
Yes.
Is that what you said? Something like that?
Yes.
Okay. I wanted to elaborate on that. I call many times people tell me that they're going to support me by attending an event that I'm speaking at. Down through the years, I've heard that quite often. And they may come and they may not come. And when they may come and hear me speak and leave. And they may come and then send me a message, oh, I was there, or I was there, letting me know they supported me. But I want to expound on that part right there, what you was kind of hitting on. And I want to make it clear. When I invite people to come with me to an event, just what you said is what it should be. They're not coming for me. I want them to come. I'm asking them to come because I know that if I'm getting something out of this, and because I know them personally, basically, I know what their needs are too. I know what all our needs are on this platform. And that is the fact that we need to make more connections, and everybody has already said that. So how can we so when I invite you to come with me because I'm speaking, I'm doing that from my heart because I know you need it too. I just didn't say it. And sometimes people get it twisted and that's what the word intentional means. When you go network, and I don't care where you go, if LaDonna invites me to an event that she's speaking at, she just opened another door of opportunity for me to tap into that network, her network that invited her in, that I don't know, they don't know me, they don't nothing. And anytime I hit a platform you invite me in, my voice gonna be heard, because when they ask a question, I'm gonna say something. I'm gonna fill that chat. I'm gonna keep putting little things in the chat, comments to other people. That's how I become visible, and I make people curious to get to know, well, who is that lady? So when you heard you say that, I'm like, ooh, that's my next message. Support is not about you just coming with me. Support is that I'm inviting you to tap into my network, because I already know you're going to need those same people. And if you don't get but one, we said it today, one connection at a time. All the follow-ups LaDonna do, everybody not going to say yes. Everybody not going to even answer their phone. How about that? But guess what? One is always better than none. That's my steward. I'm sticking to it. You got to fire up.
And Dr. Pat said something very important came to mind is a lot of times when we first start in this business and along the way, no matter how long we've been in the business, when we get told no or we get ignored, it gets into our mindset. Stop it. I have to tell myself, stop that. Next, go get that next one, because they're out there. You just have to find it. And I tell people, until you tell me, no, I'm not interested, I'm going to keep coming back every once in a while, because sooner or later, either you're going to want me, need me, or you're going to know someone that wants me or needs me. It's just the way it works. Thank you, Dr. Pat, on elaborating on that. So it is time for another trivia question. Are we ready? We're going to put the answer in the chat. Which country has the most islands in the world? Which country has the most islands in the world?
Well, it can't be Hawaii. That'd be too easy.
That's what I was thinking too, and I didn't even write it.
Remember, I said which country?
Yeah, I thought about that too. I say, is it a country? I don't know.
Country.
All right, we have Japan, no. Philippines, no. Hawaii, no.
Can we cheat?
You ready for the? What did you say, Miss Dr. Pat?
Can you give us 1 minute to cheat?
Yeah. Go cheat. How fast can you cheat?
The first person to cheat and get it in the chat.
Yes.
That's funny. Oh my God. That's funny.
Isn't this fun? And we're learning things. We're learning things as we go.
Awesome.
No, Trina, that's not correct. It must be out there somewhere, because Gail said the same thing, Trina. Australia, nope. All right, I'm going to give you the answer is Sweden. Yes, Shanna, you got it. Yes, you came in right when I did. Shanna, Sweden. Awesome. So we stumped everyone for a minute. That's a good. We learned something.
Right.
Oh, Shannon says, I cheated with your permission. Absolutely.
I
It's
never
good. I
thought
like
of
that.
Sweden as having islands.
I like this game.
It's fun. It breaks the ice. All right. So we are going to go into another breakout room. And I'm hoping we get you switched up so that you're not all with the same people.
I hope so. I can't promise. Okay. I tried moving people around. That didn't work. So I just tried recreating the rooms and I hope that it
Okay.
switches.
All right. So you're going to have 2 minutes each.
If not, you just get to know one another that much better.
Exactly. And so what I'd like for you to do is take 2 minutes each. And what is coming up next for you and your business? What's coming up next? We know Dr. Pat's going to have an event at the end of the month. Maybe she wants to elaborate on that. Maybe she has some other things coming up. Maybe she has someone graduating. You know, I can't be at her next event because thank goodness I have a grandson that is finally graduating school. It seems like the whole family's had to go to school with him to get him there, but we're there. You know, there's things coming up in our lives. What is coming up? Because you never know, again, who wants to be there with you, who can help, who can guide you, who can let you cry on your shoulders, whatever it is. So take 2 minutes each to do that and really get to dig in and get to know each other. Dr. LaWanna, do your magic.
Let's see what goes.
All right. Thank you, everyone. I hope you were in rooms that you and with different people. Either way, I think you probably learned something new. So who learned what? Who had the best room? Iffy, what did you learn today?
Hi, everyone. I'm glad, and I really learned a lot. And not only hearing the nugget, that we should put it into action, put it into practice. So that was what I learned. Not coming to the event, but put whatever you learned in the event, that you should put it into practice and work on it. Thank you so much, Dr. Pat, for this wonderful opportunity. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Iffy.
you, Dr.
Thank you.
LaDonna.
Thank you. Gail, how about you?
Well, I was with Trina again, and then had the pleasure of being with Dr. Pat and Angela. And we, you know, it's always great to be with folks. And Dr. Pat has always had nuggets about taking advantage of the full circle when you come to events, both share and receive. And so that was good. We didn't quite get a chance to finish hearing what's next for Angela, except that this is her birthday month. And in the birthday month, this is her time of year to do that reflection and looking forward. And I thought that was a great way, you know, instead of following the form and everybody does it in December to look forward to the next calendar year, to make it about your birth year and your birth cycle. So I appreciated that little switch up in terms of timing.
That was a great idea, Angela. Great idea. How about you, Jon? What did you learn today or get to meet or?
Well, I got a chance to interact more with Shanna, and she is on a pathway to quitting her job to be able to pursue her passion full time. So that's very exciting because most Americans, unfortunately, are doing something they don't want to do. So it's always a good move to strategize in a way to fulfill your purpose. I think that's what life is about.
Absolutely. Good. Great thinking. Great thinking, Jon. And celebrate, Shanna. Yes. Celebrate. You're almost there. Awesome. All right. Let's do another trivia. And we're going to put it into the chat. And whoever gets the answer first will win a book. Which planet is known as the red planet? Which planet is known as the red planet?
Mars.
Yes, Tristan got it.
I concede to Tristan, what you say. Mercury?
Mars.
Yeah,
Mars
that one I
is
knew because that's my month.
Oh, there you go. There you go. All right. So thank you, Tristan. Tristan, you're so funny. All right. With that said, who is up next? Jon. Jon is up next. Originally from Trinidad, Jon O'Neill served more than a decade in the U.S. military, first as an Army combat medic and later as an Air Force scientist and analyst. His military service shaped the values that guide him today. With integrity, service before self, and a commitment to excellence. Jon earned a Bachelor of Science in Chemistry with Physics from the University of the Virgin Islands and an MBA from Webster University, building a strong foundation in both analytical thinking and leadership. With more than 10 years of experience in financial services as a financial advisor, relationship manager, and wealth partner, Jon saw firsthand the burden debt places on families and communities. That experience inspired him to found Pasture Wealth, where he helps people pursue financial wellness through rapid debt eradication and reimagined approach to 401k planning and lifetime income strategies designed to reduce the risk of outliving retirement savings. He believes financial wellness strengthens every other area of life. Jon partners with individuals and organizations to create personalized strategies that deliver meaningful, measurable results. Outside of work, he enjoys swimming, cycling, table tennis, and creative writing, audiobooks, and travel, always seeking growth, learning, and new experience. I welcome Jon O'Neill. Jon, come on down.
All righty. Thank you, Dr. Pat, or thank you, Dr. LaDonna. And I'd like to share some slides with you. So tell me if you can see my screen.
Not yet.
Can you see my screen now?
Yes, there you are. Thank you.
Very good. Well, first of all, thanks for having me, everybody. And today I'm going to talk very briefly about on the topic from seed to pasture. Grow your financial freedom through strategic wealth building. Imagine your financial freedom from any seed you have today to a self-sustaining pasture of wealth. No alarm clock, no debt payments, no market anxiety. Start with whatever seed you have, no matter how small. Build a lasting wealth and financial freedom on your terms, not on the terms of the media or your family and friends. I want to create some context for what I'm talking about. When we think about a pasture, we think about a lush green field with healthy grass that is well taken care of, well manicured in some cases. Let's relate that in financial terms. It's a self-sustaining system, so a coordinated wealth strategy that produces yield regardless of market conditions, not affected by the market. Diversified cash flows, so multiple streams of tax advantage growth working in sequence to compound your capital efficiently. And then capital access, liquidity on demand without pre-retirement penalty and with principal protection. Let's talk about 3 secrets we have surrounding going from seed to pasture. Secret 1, the seed is already in your hand. A false belief is, I don't have enough to start. The truth is, consistency matters more than the size. Compounding rewards the faithful, not the lucky. The size of your seed matters far less than your commitment to it. Let's consider what a lot of families, the typical American, spend not knowing where it goes. The average family has a $300 in a month spending they cannot account for. For some people, of course, it's less, but for some people, it's more. At the end of the month, where did the money go? Money leaving without direction. Where the idea is, if you can redirect what you have, spending that you don't realize that you're making, you can significantly reach a different place than you are right now, thanks to the help of compounding interest. The sage Warren Buffett said, those who understand compound interest earn it. Those who don't will pay it. Let's take a look at secret number 2. The right pasture protects itself. Markets are too risky. Debt is normal is a false belief. The truth is, you can design your field to where you don't have to worry about market forces. Such an account would give you upside participation with at least a 0% floor and tax advantage access. You're now able to recycle these dollars and create and recapture interest that you would be paying to another financial institution. There are already families that are doing this, is the third secret. It's not just for the ultra wealthy. These wealth building strategies are successfully applied by everyday families using resources they already have. If you combine a repeatable principle with tailored numbers, that's something customized to you, you would create the foundational framework that remains consistent. The specific application is customized to your particular situation. The truth is, you bring the seed, the system grows the pasture. The key thing is the system. In the words of James Clear, he says, you do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. Let's consider a case study. Mike and Lisa, unfortunately, was spending 31% of their cash flow to debt, $21.77 a month. They were on track to be in debt for 30 years. This includes their mortgage. So, all calculated, their debt was over $180,000. But here's the interesting thing. With interest, their real debt was over $380,000. That's nearly $200,000 in interest they were paying. This was bleeding their pasture dry before it could take root. The thing is, with the right solution, using their same dollars, a smarter sequence, no extra money out of pocket, they went from being on track to being in debt for 30 years to eliminating that debt in less than 8 years. As a little factoid, right now the country is $18 trillion in consumer debt. So with this plan, Pasture World Plan, they accelerated their debt-free date by 22 years. They were able to save over $122,000 in interest. And again, this included their mortgage. What was their result? Well, going on the path that they were originally on, they would have just over $306,000 in retirement nest egg. With an improved plan, they now were able to put aside over $1 million. For them, the cost of not doing this, not having an improved seed to pasture plan, would cost them over $820,000. What would it be for you? There are some names that you may recognize that have used their own seed and transform it into their pasture. No extraordinary resource, but they remain consistent using the right strategy with patience to let it grow. Ray Kroc of McDonald's, when he started, he was 52 years old, kind of broke, selling milkshake machines. With the right strategy, using accounts where he could tap into his seed, he was able to transform McDonald's now into an international brand. Walt Disney, he went bankrupt before Disneyland ever existed. But he tapped into a seed he had using a specialized account. And now Walt Disney is an internationally recognized brand. Doris Christopher, she started with just $3,000 in a cooking business from her basement. And she transformed her pasture into something that Berkshire Hathaway paid over $900 million for. How do you like these pastures? I spoke about 3 transformations earlier. Perhaps in my breakout sessions, you may have heard me talk about financial wellness through 3 transformations. Your seed to path. Step 1 would be plant your seed. I call this the rapid debt eradication. You want to clear those weeds. Weeds created by taxes and interest that stunt the progress of your seed to pasture journey. You restructure your payments to reduce interest and taxes using money you already spend. You get to reclaim that cash flow for true wealth building. Step 2 is cultivate strategy. I call that the 4-1 reformation, where you get to shift portions to a tax advantage vehicle, even multiple in some cases. Now you get to enjoy market-linked growth with at least a 0% floor. I say at least because in some cases that floor could be more than 0%. That means when other people are losing money in the market, you get at least a 0% so you don't lose your principal. And again, in some cases, more than 0%. You get to access these funds before retirement without any early withdrawal penalty. Step 3, harvest your pasture. I call that lifetime income generation. You get to secure guaranteed paychecks you cannot outlive. Unfortunately, one of the major concerns for retirees is running out of money. So you get to generate reliable income whether markets go up, down, or sideways. Your next step is getting a free guide. The question isn't whether you have enough. The question is, are you ready to plant it if you have not started? You can stop by my website at pasturewealth.life/resources and pick up a free 5-step guide to financial freedom. If you want to discuss this further or see what it would look like for you to even fast track what you're already doing, you may schedule a free consultation at speakwithjon.com. Today, I thank you for your time and attention, and I look forward to seeing what your pasture can become. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jon. That was awesome. A lot of great information that the majority of us are going through or will be going through soon. So that's awesome. Any questions or comments for Jon?
Jon, I wish you had been around like 30 years ago. But I would like to know, because there are a lot of people who didn't know or understand, and they miss a lot of the opportunities of what you're speaking of. So what about those people? I mean, I'm 79 and thinking about what I could do. Of course, I plan on being here 120 years, so there still might be a possibility, but being realistic for as the average person, what can they do once they get up in their age?
So it depends what your next step for your goals are. Perhaps you may be concerned about lifetime income, then that would be a discussion to have. Unfortunately, when I had clients back years ago as a financial advisor, unfortunately, I saw people at retirement age or close to retirement that had less than $50,000, less than $100,000 for retirement. Unfortunately, there are some people at that age are still saddled with debt. So for you, your concern might be lifetime income. Another person might be debt, right? So it depends on what the next step in your goal is that will determine what your next strategy is. So you're not necessarily too old. It just depends on what the goal is.
That's great information. Great information. Trina, it looks like you may have something on your mind. Anything that you want to add to that?
I just thought it was super valuable to be able to see the cost of inaction, which we know in sales, like it's always important to see that, but especially when it comes to financial advising and it's something that people have maybe a little anxiety around to begin with, for them to have the visual to see like, here's what the real cost is. I just thought that was a very, very effective slide. And it definitely makes you think. So, I have a sister who's a financial advisor, and I'm just grew up in a family where our parents didn't know anything about that. So the work you do is so important. And I just wanted to let you know, I'm like, that's a very powerful slide. Thank you for sharing with us today.
Awesome.
Just one thing I want to quickly mention also, I wrote a book. It's just the next step is publishing it. It would be on these unique strategies that I offer.
Okay. Okay. That was I enjoyed that presentation. I always enjoy stuff like that because it was a day when I did not want to talk about money. I did not understand because I was still working. I still had that corporate mindset, but as I came upon my retirement, that's when I started, back in 2016, I started educating myself. And what I have learned, something you said that it really is, I think that's one of the limited beliefs that people have. First of all, people don't want to show you their finances, first of all. Second of all, the limited belief is that when I know me, I'm talking about me, when I used to hear about that compound, I had to wait all them years to get my money. And that's a turnoff to some people. But when we change our mindset and we realize how wealth is made and how it benefits us in the long run, then we change our mindset, then it makes sense. And I like that because as a retiree, and when I finally did let somebody in my world back in the day, that commitment, that the commitment is to leave it alone and let it grow. That's my story I'm sticking to. Woo! Yeah. Come on, give me some energy, y'all. Come on.
I love what you said. I love what you said, Dr. Pat. Leave it alone. That's the hard part.
Yeah, that's the struggle. That's people want their money. You think about we got all that stuff in our head. Well, what if I need it? What if I need it? And before you know it, and Lord knows, don't let one of the kids or somebody get into a dilemma. That's the hard part, Dr. LaWanna. Leaving the freaking money alone.
Yes. That
is.
That's right.
But I'm grateful. And that paycheck thing you said, when you're saving your money, that's a good one. You put the money there, you're saving the money, and after a certain period of time, the money grows. You don't have to take the lump sum. You just get a little bit here, a little bit there, however you choose to do it. And that works for me. And sometimes I be telling myself, why am I taking that money? I don't even need that money. But it's my money. But I do want to talk to you about my daughter. I don't know if it's going to help, but I'm going to talk to you about my daughter, because if I'm going to put some money up, I would like to do it for her. I would like to put some money up for her. I don't even know. I mean, if she's going to get what I got anyway, it probably don't matter. We'll talk about that. I want to talk to you anyway.
Sounds good.
Awesome. I love it. And it is hard sometimes to talk about money. And it's really hard to talk about it with strangers sometimes. Really hard. I mean, so yeah, I get it. All right.
Wait, the last thing I want to say, hold up. The last one thing I wrote down here is that part that you said. You said you bring the seed and the system grows the pasture. And you said that start with whatever you have, no matter how small. That's why I want to talk to you about my daughter. I'm done with that conversation. Thank you very much. Whoop, whoop.
That's awesome. Great job, Dr. Pat. Great questions and answers from everyone. Let's go to Tristan Helm. Tristan Helm was born in Colorado and raised in Oklahoma. His life and work have been shaped by overcoming personal challenges, including the effects of drugs, alcohol, domestic violence, addiction, and low self-esteem. For over 20 years, he has transformed those experiences into powerful techniques that help others break through mental and emotional barriers. While earning his degree in criminal justice, Tristan developed a deep passion for psychology. He studied PTSD, anxiety, depression, and how the brain responds to various stimuli, using that knowledge to guide others in developing effective coping skills and lasting change. His approach focuses on shifting perspective and empowering individuals to reclaim control of their lives. Tristan is a national best-selling author of After Midnight, Finding Your Inner Beauty and Surviving Death, a look at grief. He also co-authored the Cracking the Rich Code series alongside Jim Britt and Kevin Harrington, with endorsement from Tony Robbins. An award-winning international speaker, Tristan has appeared on NBC, ABC, Fox, and CBS. He is featured on Amazon's Prime's Speak Up and now serves as a producer for the show. He has trained under renowned leaders such as Les Brown and Manny Lopez. Currently, Tristan collaborates with Dr. Tina D. Lewis, the Bottom Line Queen, through Global Women Speakers International, a leading platform for entrepreneurs and professionals worldwide. When he is not coaching others to create powerful transformations, Tristan dedicates his time to family and ministry, continuing his mission to inspire growth, healing, and purpose-driven success. I want to introduce you to Tristan Helm. Tristan, come on down.
Thank you, Dr. LaDonna. I definitely appreciate that introduction. For one, I always love our interactions. You always leave me encouraged, and I just want to say thank you. I really do appreciate it. We've had some really great speakers here, so I'm not sure how I can add to anything anybody has said because everybody has just brought some gold today. Speaking of family, my son's in my bedroom with me in my office, and he is listening to a cartoon. So if you hear any background noise, that's what that is. Eli, turn that down, babe. Eli, hey, turn it down, please. So I'm going to be kind of brief today. I was trying to think about like what can I present to these wonderful people at this event, and kind of leaves them empowered. And I realized that there's not one specific thing that I can actually give every single person that it's going to fit all of them. At least not in a method way. Like I can't say, well, this is going to empower everybody or this is going to help everybody. But what I have learned is that everybody has something very specific wired in their brain that fires up the neurotransmitters, that releases the endorphins, that gets the flow and the mojo working inside the brain and gets them pumped up. And while it's different for everybody, I have learned everybody has something. And usually it's buried deep within our human psyche, where our lived experiences have formed what is now our brain, right? And I said all that to say this is I love studying the brain. I really truly believe is that when you understand the way your brain operates, what fires it, what slows it down, what makes it feel good, then you can actually then begin to work it in your favor. And I'm not necessarily talking about like the Briggs-Abney personality test or the Gallup-Clifton or the real colors. I mean, those are all very accurate and very, very good. But what I'm finding out is that everybody has a very particular skill or a very particular way of doing things that just not only helps people, but it feeds them energy. And the best way I can describe that is, talk about what does it for me. According to Gallup Clifton, it's a strength-based assessment. One of my number one strength is called connectedness. And it's not necessarily being connected to everybody, because if you put me in a crowded room, I'm going to sit in the back with my back facing the wall so I can look at all the exits, and I'm going to observe everybody. I'm not necessarily the extrovert, go out and meet and network people. I love helping people, but it's just not my thing to go out and just start a conversation from scratch. However, my connectedness that Gallup Clifton identifies is, for one, I like being connected to a higher priority or a higher calling. I like being a part of a team, something that has an end result that requires more than one person to do. The other part is I love connecting the dots. I love finding out what connects people to their past, what brought them to where they're at today, what helps them put the things together that makes them who they are. And coincidentally enough, that's what I love helping people do, not just in myself, but in others. When people discover, oh, I'm triggered whenever I see this, or when I smell this, or when I hear this. Well, you find out that's usually going to be connected to a trauma. Well, when you find out what that trauma is, and you find out what that's connected to, and you find out what causes that person to feel anxiety, you can then begin to, I don't want to say manipulate, but use it to your benefit to counter it. Like, if I know this makes me nervous, I'm going to apply this in my life so I don't. And then I will begin to reverse the change. It's a really wonderful story that I love telling as many people as possible. And it's a story about a little girl named Rosemary Kennedy. Little Rosemary Kennedy, by the age of 2, had missed many milestones of development. And being in one of the wealthiest families in America at the time, her family poured resources and tutors and teachers and psychologists and everybody into her life to help her develop. Well, in this time, there was no such thing as IDD or depression or anxiety. It really hadn't even been invented yet, as far as it wasn't an official diagnosis. Now, we all know it existed before that, but America had not really recognized that there's something going on. Fast forward to 1955, President Eisenhower puts in this motion to create what eventually became the Mental Health Act. He said the care for the mentally ill presents a special set of problems. And only in the past few decades have we, as a people, begun to regard mental disorders capable of a diagnosis. We now know that effective programs are possible. And that's almost a direct quote. Like, that's how many times I say this, because I love telling that story. When I tell that story, it fires me up. It gets me motivated. Again, the connection. Well, he sent that little mission statement in 1955. It came back in 1961. He was no longer the president at the time, a man by the name of JFK. JFK was the first televised debate. Long story short, people went over, ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. Over the guy who goes, I am not a crook. That was my Nixon and Kennedy impression. It wasn't that good, but it's okay. But we all know him. So anyways, it's the first time in America that people get to see the two candidates going for president. Well, JFK was elected. Well, the report comes back 1961, and now JFK has got all of this information that Eisenhower started. JFK, if you haven't already connected the dots, is Rosemary's baby brother. And so now we have somebody who has a ton of information on mental health research. It's like more than Google and Wikipedia, right? The real professionals, not a bunch of keyboard warriors. Like, real research has been done in the hands of somebody who has authentic and real and raw experience with mental health. Well, little more story to Rosemary is her father had a lobotomy performed on her when she was 23. She didn't even know about it until she woke up from the anesthesia the next day. She was placed in an institution and pretty much left alone for the rest of her life. One of the few people who consistently visited her was JFK. And I said all that to say is JFK was in a position and he had this experience, this very traumatic, very daunting thing that happened to his sister. And now he's also got this responsibility. And I firmly believe with everything in me that he continued to look at what happened with his big sister. And that was why he pressed so hard for the Mental Health Act. The Mental Health Act was passed on October 31st, 1963. 3 weeks later, he's in Dallas. The top's down. It was the last piece of legislation that he signed before he was assassinated. I know JFK did a lot of other things. I think he did something with the man on the moon. I'm kidding. But the point is that his greatest accomplishment was what motivated him, which is then linked to what happened with his big sister. And I'm sure we could go around the room. We could all tell these stories about why we do what we do. And I'm pretty sure it's either in telling that story or in reliving that story or in something that a fire can be rebuilt inside of us. You know, you see, as we do this, the jobs that we do, you know, public speaking and coaching, which ironically is the number one fear in the world is public speaking, but yet here we are doing it. We can experience burnout. You know, that feeling of helplessness, that feeling of I've been giving, and I haven't been getting, and I'm just tired. And I don't want to do this anymore. That's essentially burnout. And what I have personally experienced is that when I find out the things that motivate me, and I find out my why, my story, the thing, my little Rosemary story, usually it gets me fired back up. I get a little bit more excited, a little bit more like, okay, you know what? I'm going to keep doing this. I bet there's something else that I can contribute. Anyways, all that to say is remember your Rosemary and whatever motivates you. Dr. LaDonna, I'm going to give it back to you. Thank you again for letting me speak.
You're muted, Dr. LaDonna.
I had to said a whole thing there. Thank you so much, Tristan. That just brought back so many things in my head spinning, you know, just spinning, thinking about things. So who has any questions or comments for Tristan?
I do.
Okay, Shanna?
So thanks for sharing that, Tristan. Very powerful. So do you have like a technique on how to get back to your Rosemary story? Like for someone who has maybe been in a career that they really don't like or is not passionate about, but like trying to figure out like, what do I really want to do with my life? Like what techniques do you have to figure that part out?
That's a really good question. Like a really, really good question. In fact, I think I'm going to use some of what I'm about to tell you later on for myself. What I have found is that, and it's just me, it could be different for reflection. When I sit down and say, okay, what do I love doing? Like, not what do I, you know, what's not what's fun, but what do I do that I like? I get this euphoric oxytocin, like, whoo, let's keep doing that. What is it about whatever I'm doing that fires me up? And I love to look back on my past. I love to look at the things that I've lived through, the things that I've been, and I try to find out where that's connected. And usually there's a little silver lining and there's a sweet spot right in there that says, well, this is what you enjoy. And this is what lifts you up. Again, it's just for me. I love connecting the dots when I help people realize, oh, that's why I do that. Like I'm right there with them, ready to jump through hoops and just get all excited with them. Like I love seeing people get enlightened. And that just comes from my own personal revelations that I've experienced. So I guess to answer your question, it's not really a specific technique as it is really discovering what gets me motivated. Like, for instance, and I'll share this and I'll be quiet. I don't exactly love running, but I love working out. However, I know if I run, if I get it over with, if I just literally put my feet on the ground and move, by the time I finish, no matter how much I went, no matter how fast I went, I know my blood's going to be circulating. And by that time, I'm going to be ready to do my workout. And what gets me is my music. I can either watch a motivational speech or watch a workout. Watching people work out gets me like, man, I got to try that. I'm going to try that new technique. That's what gets me. And so now that I know that, when I know it's my day to work out, I usually will find whatever it is that motivates me, and then I use it. So I guess to answer your question, you just got to do some searching, some real some digging inside of your human psyche and find out, well, this usually what pumps me up. I love it when I do this. Well, actually, I'm actually really good at it. Well, that's what I'm going to use to keep me motivated.
Cool. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Great question. Thank you.
Great question and great answer. And probably I'm going to say all of us have had challenges with finding ourselves at one time or another, maybe several times during our life. Anyone else have any questions or comments for Tristan?
No, but I like the idea of finding the thing that motivates you, that keeps you pumped up to really get into what you want to do. So I
Yes.
probably need to find something that'll make me exercise.
Trina, do you have anything to add to that?
I just thought it was so nice that you're able to help people tie together that like what motivates you is usually tied to something that may have been a difficult experience, and I think sometimes those are the things that we really want to avoid. But what I heard you say was that when we can step back from that and really look at what have we learned from that, it might shine a big spotlight on how we want to move forward and how we want to impact others. So I thought that was really valuable.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Thank you.
I've learned that it actually helps me process it and accept it.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I don't like that it happened, but if it didn't, I wouldn't be this person. And so I'm thankful that I got through it. So.
Well, and I feel like it not only helps the person you're serving, but it's helping you. It's almost a form of processing for yourself as well. So it's fun when it gets to have that ripple effect and that double duty. So thank you for sharing that.
Awesome. Okay, I would like to introduce you to Gail Dixon. Gail Dixon teaches that leadership isn't just about strategy or decision making. It's about the language you use to convey those things. Great leaders understand the language doesn't just describe reality, it creates it. A single phrase can build trust or break it, inspire action or shut people down. That's why the most effective leaders speak with intention. You can hear the difference. Effective leaders talk about we and our, not me or mine. They pay more attention to the present and future than the past. They talk in terms of opportunities and possibilities. On the other hand, reactive leaders focus on blame, problems, and limitations. Intentional leaders focus on responsibility, possibilities, and solutions. Instead of asking, why did this happen? They ask, what can we learn? Instead of saying, this won't work, they ask, how could we make it work? These small shifts create big changes. Leadership language isn't just about giving direction. It's about engaging, inspiring, and empowering others. When people feel heard, valued, and trusted, they step forward with more ownership and creativity. Sometimes the most powerful leadership tools are simple questions. What's possible here? What can we learn from this? What do you think? What's the next best step? How can I support you? These questions invite collaboration, build confidence, and move people into action. At its core, leadership begins in the heart and travels through language. The words we choose can create connection or division, momentum or hesitation. So Gail asked the real question for every leader is this: are my words creating the future I want to lead people into? Because in the end, leadership isn't just about what we do. It's about how we speak and the impact those words leave behind. I am happy to introduce Gail Dixon. Gail, come on down.
Thank you so much, LaDonna. And I'm going to build on that introduction to talk about what happens when leaders encounter resistance, because it happens to all of us. And so thinking about down and dirty strategies, the title of today, I wanted to give you some things that put a perspective on resistance and some strategies to overcome it. So I'm going to invite you for just a second to think about a situation in which you met resistance. That can be in an interpersonal relationship when you were trying to reach a decision or a compromise, or in a business or corporate situation when you were leading a team, or out in the community or the world when you were trying to advocate for something and make it happen. So it can be a tiny little sphere that you were making change in, or a big sphere. Think about a time that you encountered resistance. Everybody got one? One that feels okay. Now, did everybody that was resisting you resist you for the same reason? No. Everybody has their own reason for resisting. And when you know the reason for the resistance, you can be much more effective in overcoming it. So I'm going to talk to you about 3 types of resistance. But first, I want to put the frame on this and help us think. Resistance does not equal problem. It equals information. And so when we have the right information, we can choose the right strategy. So leadership expert Rick Maurer talks about 3 basic kinds, or 3 underlying reasons for resistance. One is they don't get it. They don't understand the vision. They don't understand the point. They don't get it. The second is they don't like it. They get it. They hear where you're going. They're not having it. And the third is that they don't like you. They don't trust you. They don't have the kind of relationship that makes this work. So let's examine each of those kinds of resistance and take them apart a little bit, and then think what you can do to overcome that type of resistance. And just a side note, in the corporate world, we often automatically assume this first type of resistance, that they don't get it. In the corporate world, the answer to everything is give them more training, give them more information, give them more of this. Well, that's great for the people who don't understand it and don't get it. It's not so great for the people who don't like it or don't like you, because you're just piling on. So just make sure that you don't default to they don't get it before you look a little deeper. Okay, so if they don't get it, what are the clues that tell you that that's the kind of resistance? Confusion, repeated questions, inconsistent action. And so they're kind of missing the why or the what or the how. The solution when they don't get it is to simplify. Give them one outcome and one reason. And then, just as Jon told us, simplify is planting the seed, and then you repeat. You let the system grow. And you also show them what good or what the right result looks like. So you show them that plant in full bloom and you tell them that. So when they understand the what, why, and how, then they're more able to come along with you. And we talked about before, and I apologize. I think it's Tristan who said, we're going to connect the dots, right? That's what you're doing when you're dealing with they don't get it, is helping people connect the dots between what you're proposing and what they need and want. And so if you can think not of its resistance, it's something I have to fight, but it's a communication gap. That's how you can deal with resistance. Now, the second type, they don't like it. You know, that's another story. They get it. They see your point, but somehow it doesn't meet their needs. That's an emotional gap rather than an information gap. It looks like pushback. It looks like that won't work, or it looks like hesitation. And what's really going on here with they don't like it is there's some fear under there. It's fear of loss. What they have has something in it for them, and they're not sure that what you're proposing has anything in it for them. Strategies here are to acknowledge first, you know, I get that this feels scary. This isn't an all or nothing proposition. You don't have to, you know, we're not doing a shift and a sea change. We're just doing a pivot. Name the trade-offs, and most especially, give the resistor a voice. This is a time to sit back and listen, because it's likely that there's something in what you're proposing that's a payoff for them. And if you hear what the payoff is that they want, you can build that into the solution. But get them. People want to feel seen, heard, and valued. Tell them you get them. Because if you don't get them, sure shooting, they won't get you. Okay. So it's not so much that people resist change. It's that they resist loss. So if what you're doing is providing the reassurance that what you're proposing is not going to result in a total loss of what they value, then they're more likely to come along. Boy, and now, here's the toughie. They don't like you. And it may not be so much that they don't like you, but that they don't trust you or trust your motives. And the clue about this is it looks like disengagement, quiet resistance, you know, the silent resignation at work. Somebody's showing up at their desk. They're showing up at the meeting, but they don't contribute. They don't engage. Or lack of buy-in. I'll just sit back and wait and see if this thing fails or it doesn't. Okay. But it's really a trust issue. People risk when they feel like there's a safety net for them. And very often you, as the boss, the leader, the partner, the primary, they see you as the safety net. And when it looks like you're proposing a change or doing something different, the safety net feels shaky. It feels like there's a hole in the safety net. You may need to go back and repair relationships, develop consistency. If you're leading a team, this is a time for one-on-one conversations that Often we all like to be part of the group. And so if a whole group is resisting, we can pile on with the resistance. If a whole group is flowing, we can go with the flow. And if you have a trust issue, you're not going to fix that trust in a group setting. You're going to fix it one by one, because as much as you as the leader relate to the group, you also have an individual relationship with each person in the group. And people develop trust one by one. The next one, really hard. Own your part. They don't distrust you just because of something in them, something that they're carrying. They distrust you either because of something you've done, said, or put forth, or something you haven't. So go back and give them a reason to trust. And that's about, how am I showing up in this for you? What is it? You may actually have to ask and confront it directly. I'm sensing that you don't feel safe or trusted, or you don't feel like there's anything in this for you. How can I show up for you in a way that brings you along? Sometimes people will say, I need to wait. I'm not ready. Be willing to change the timetable in favor of trust, because I guarantee you, you can be in any situation. You can choose to be a steamroller. But if you're a steamroller, what you end up with afterward is flat people lying on the ground rather than fully dimensional people who will be able to do something. So these three things I've told you, I'm going to give you the memory framework that will help you to hang on to these. In handling resistance, we do three things. First, you see it. You discern what type of resistance you're looking at. Then you sort it. Figure out what's underneath. And then you shift it. You respond accordingly. If you have not seen it, you're not able to sort it. But if you've sorted it, then what? Then you have to respond accordingly. As the leader, the way you frame the change has everything to do with how successful it will be. And so when you meet resistance, the way you respond to resistance has everything to do with whether you can roll through that resistance to the goal, or whether the resistance is going to continue to be an obstacle and a thorn in your side. So think back to the situation I asked you to think about when we started. Can you discern what kind of resistance you were dealing with? Give me a hand if it was, they don't get it.
Yeah.
Okay. LaDonna, they don't get it. Patricia, what about they don't like it? Anybody dealing with they don't like it? Trina, Angela, LaWanna. Okay. And anybody willing to own up to they don't like you? Yeah, it happened to me too. So with this information, can you now see how you might have responded differently in that situation by understanding what the resistance was and where it was coming from? When you have that clarity of they don't get it, You can create alignment. When you have that they don't like it, you develop some empathy, you create some openness. And when they don't like you, it's all about the trust factor. So I'm going to encourage you that as you use the language of leadership that LaDonna talked about in the introduction, you pair that language with the kind of listening that allows you to listen to the resistance, and it'll show you exactly how to lead.
Good message. Wow. Good stuff. Good stuff.
Wow. Loved
Good
it.
stuff.
Dr. Pat, what do you have to say about that? Any questions or comments you want to add?
Well, I love the topic. I love anything that has to do with dealing with people, because when we understand the dynamics of people, then like she was saying basically in her message, we're able to maneuver through all the well, I'm not going to say BS, but you know the BS, I just said it, because a lot of times that's what it is, because of people disciplines. And I can own up to all of it, that they don't get it. And whatever the other one was, and they don't like me because I'm going in. I don't like everybody either. And it's not that I don't like them and they don't like me, it's the behaviors. I've been told before by other people a couple times in my life, my energy makes them nervous. Well, get over it and get away from me. How about that? It didn't come to me. I heard it, that they said my energy make them nervous. And that could be the case. It's okay. It's okay, because we're not going to track everybody. But as far as building a team, you are on point, and all of those steps as relate to resolving issues has to be dealt with. But I would like to add one last thing is that I'm not responsible for you holding in, let's just say I offend Dr. LaWanna. I'm not responsible if Dr. LaWanna don't come to me and tell me that I did something to offend her. I can't call a meeting with Dr. LaWanna because she don't talk on social media to me no more. I ain't doing that because there's too many people waiting on me to serve. So if Dr. LaWanna has a problem with me, that's something I said, she has to be adult enough, mature enough, and business enough to say, hey, listen, I need to have a conversation. It's always 2 and 3 sides to the spectrum. And some of these, I'm going in now because I'm on fire. Because you know what? Some of these disciplines that some of these entrepreneurs have had or display in this arena, it breaks my heart. It breaks my heart. And not only that, it's okay because it hurts me, because I know what hurts me about it is that I know that God is telling me, you don't need to be attached to that because this is what they're doing. And I keep going back. I keep holding on until I finally get my face smashed up against the wall, and they don't change. They don't whatever. And I may have a conversation with them. I go, what I'm saying for me is I give, let's just use an email, for instance. Y'all don't check, I'm use that one, for instance. You don't check your email. You know my stuff is going out after the event. You know it's coming if you want those emails, if you want to follow up. You don't come, but you come to me a month later and tell me, oh, I didn't get my stuff. Well, guess what? I tell you the date where it is, and I tell you the email it came from, and I tell my team, don't do our work twice because we already did it. And I feel disrespected when people do some of the things that they do to me because I go far beyond the call of duty. Now, this is the authentic me. This is what I've been dealing with. This is my challenge. And this is what I'm asking God to help me through, because I don't like cutting people off, but I have to, because the disciplines that they display is not taking me where I need to be. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. I'm glad we got a small audience today.
Well, and you're so right. And that, the thing I didn't say that you prompt me to say here is sometimes resistance, at least for now, is an impenetrable wall. And you need to discern and figure out if it's a wall you're going to push, move, go over, go around, or it looks like it's a wall you're going to beat your head bloody on. And when you decide that wall is so intractable and so immovable that you're going to just keep beating yourself up against that wall, it doesn't serve anybody, because you're concentrating on this wall over here where that person over there needs you and wants you and can be served and can play along. So thank you for reminding me that there are times to say uncle and quit pushing at the resistance. And before we close, I want to be sure you see that I've put in the chat your invitation to National Claim Your Voice Day on May 15th, because I'd love to see you all there. It's a free event, and the voices I've heard in this room today are voices I always want to hear echoes of whenever I'm doing something important. So I invite you to join me.
Thank you so much. And I would invite everyone to go ahead and click on that link right now so that it's open on your laptop, your phone, whatever you're using today, so that you can fill it out right away. And then you don't forget about it later, because sometimes we forget to go back to the chat and take in all the information that's there. And we've got a lot of great information today inside that chat. So does anyone need help saving the chat? Does everyone know how to save the chat? Okay.
Yes. And I want
So
to say
let's make sure we save the chat, and make sure that you go back and look at everything. And I'll have the video ready in about 48 to 72 hours, and you'll get a copy of the video as well.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Also, can I say that I have already posted these pictures on social media? I'm going to bed after this, but ladies and gentlemen, I tagged everybody on this platform that I'm looking at. Jon, Trina, you all are new to me, but I have tagged you all, and that's what we do after our events. We want to let the world know that you all missed something awesome, and this is what it was. And that's how we all, that's also Trina, I know you know that's also a part of branding. After the event, we post.
Yes.
So, LaDonna, this one's on me.
Thank you.
Jasmine, not here.
Thank you.
This one's on me.
All right. Thank you. All right, everyone, have a beautiful rest of your Saturday, and I will see you next time.